Yo, 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 what's up? Marcus Conte reporting. We got some results. Or do we? Do we have the results that they want us to see, or do we have the actual results of this here election? I don't know. It's looking a little sketchy. Help me figure it out, man, because talk me down off the ledge, because it looks like the shenanigans are going down. Here in Electionville. So, without any further ado, we have election results for the Iowa Caucus, and here it is, according to the New York Times. People with 62% of the vote in. 62% of the vote in. 62% precincts in all 99 precincts. 62% in all of the 99 precincts. They got Pete Buttigieg 26.9%, Bernie Sanders 21.1%, Warren 18.3%, Biden 15.6%, and Klobuchar 12.6%. Now, obviously, the catastrophe is for Joe Biden, coming in at fourth, the most, according to the Democrats, the most viable candidate, the most electable candidate of all, comes in fourth place. Now, let's look at this. Here's the chairman, right? Troy Price. Why are they only releasing 62% of the vote? It makes no sense. But let's listen anyway and see if we can learn something from Troy Price, the Iowa Democratic Party chair. Let him speak.
Last night, we were faced with multiple reporting challenges and decided, out of an abundance of caution, to protect the integrity of the Iowa caucuses and their results by taking the necessary steps to review and confirm the data. A thorough, transparent, and independent examination of what occurred yesterday will follow. But let me be clear. My number one priority has been on ensuring the accuracy and integrity of the results. And we have been working all night to be in the best position to report results. And here, in just a couple of minutes, we will be reporting
This smells like a payoff. That's what it smells like. It's like this guy, I mean, it's just a gut feeling. This guy, why are you releasing 62% of the vote? Why? There's absolutely no reason, and there's no precedence for anything like it. All right? Someone cut him a check. Someone says, "Hold up, just put out the 62%." It just doesn't make sense.
62% of precincts from all 99 counties. The bottom line is that we hit a stumbling block on the back end of the reporting of the data. But the one thing I want you to know, we know this data is accurate. And we also have a paper trail and documentation that have been able to use to provide information to help verify the results. This is personal to me. I'm a lifelong Iowan. I have caucused for 20 years. And I know how important it is to our party, to our state, and to everyone, from our neighbors to new voters, to be able to come together all across this state. We want Iowans to be confident in the results and in the process, and we are going to take the time that we need to make sure that we do just that.
Hurry up.
So I know folks are going to want to be seeing the results as they come in, but I'm happy to take a couple of quick questions before that happens.
How can anyone trust you now?
We have been working day and night to make sure that these results are accurate. The one thing I will say is that the underlying data, the raw data, is secure. It was always secure. This was a coding error in one of the pieces on the back end, but the raw data, the data that has come in, is secure, and I can assure Iowans of that.
Do you worry this could cost you your first in the nation status? Do you worry it could cost you your first in the nation status or endanger the caucuses as a nation?
The fact is that this is a conversation that...
There's a rather couple of stupid questions. Just move a little ahead.
Why was it never tasted?
Testing when you had the internal testing or the third-party testing?
What's that?
Was
I want to flip to. So here's the way the MSNBC is reporting it.
Nicole, that was.
All right, Mr. Price, leaving the room.
So already they're stretching it. Rather than say 26.9 to 25.1, they're already giving Buttigieg a little more of a bump, 27%. That's how they're reporting it. And if you listen to Chuck Todd, Lazy Chuck.
Room right now. Okay, here are the numbers that are.
You'll see him say, now this is not official. 62% of the vote when it's this close, and you have Bernie Sanders' data contradicting it, showing that Bernie Sanders was maybe 5 or 6% out ahead based on their statistics. This is not conclusive information. This is designed to convince you that Bernie Sanders failed. And Pete Buttigieg, the nobody, beat him.
That have been fed into us now, and you see that Pete Buttigieg at 27%, Sanders 25%, followed by Warren and Biden. Again, these are not necessarily reflective of what the final outcome would be. We're told this is 62% of the precincts reporting. Chuck Todd is with me right now. Chuck, what do we read in these numbers?
Just so people know, and those three-digit numbers there are the delegate equivalents, the state delegate equivalents. It's not a vote there itself. And I know we had 95% in the corner there, but I think at this point, we have not verified a thing. This is the Iowa Democratic Party's numbers. The Iowa Democratic Party, this is them. And I say that because I know a lot of times we do have a chance sometimes to verify numbers. We do not are able to do this.
This is not a read the numbers and run away and say,
that's right. So I think that this is obviously problem one for the Iowa Democratic Party, is that there are going to be people that never accept these results. But the results themselves, I mean, it's sort of, we had a hint in our entrance polls that Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg had done quite well and seemed to do a little bit better than the other three major contenders there, Biden, Warren, and Klobuchar. And obviously the big story, and perhaps it's still a big story today, although again, you know, these results they're going to be contaminated. I mean, let's just be honest. He's trying to say they're not, but it is going to feel contaminated to some folks no matter what. But the fact of the matter is, fourth place for Joe Biden's is catastrophic.
Yeah,
even Chuck Todd said it. Fourth place for Joe Biden is catastrophic. Say it again, Lazy Chuck.
You know, these results they're going to be contaminated. I mean, let's just be honest. He's trying to say they're not, but it is going to feel contaminated to some.
It's contaminated because it's only 62% of what we're supposed to see. That's why it's contaminated.
Folks, no matter what. But the fact of the matter is, fourth place for Joe Biden's is catastrophic.
Yeah, the mantra.
I mean, there's no other way to put it.
The mantra for the Democratic Party in Iowa has been to protect the integrity of the election. You heard numerous questions, good questions from reporters about how do we know we can trust this information. Mr. Price says there will be an independent examination of this data, but again, we have not seen all the data. Peter Alexander has more now.
The biggest thing is that he gave the chair gave not a single reason, no reason whatsoever why only 62% of 100% of the vote was revealed. That makes absolutely no sense. You count the numbers and you only release 60. You cherry pick what numbers you're going to release. Makes no sense.
From Iowa, how are
It reeks of cheating. That's what it reeks of.
the candidates reacting to this? I know those numbers we've seen are fresh, but what have we heard so far?
Yeah, Lester, what was striking to me is earlier in the day, for example, we heard from Elizabeth Warren, who was complaining that the Iowa Democratic Party would only be released. Soon we get the final tally here in New Hampshire as the candidates head.
It now may be the reverse. It's Buttigieg that could go and grab Biden donors if we think.
And now you see what starts to transpire is Chuck Todd then goes on to say he starts to speak as if Pete Buttigieg is the lead, is the winner, right? Right? With 62% of the vote, now the narrative, the mainstream media narrative, overnight was, see how shitty Iowa was? Iowa doesn't mean anything. It's flawed. It's a flawed system. We should change it. Why? Because their guy didn't win. Right? And they stopped the process. Bernie Sanders won, and so anything that Bernie Sanders does positively, they shit on. And now they're running the narrative already It's not even 10, 15 minutes into the process. And Chuck Todd is already saying Pete Buttigieg won.
Sort of make the case that he's not going to be able to make it. There was some donors to be had there. It now may be the reverse. It's Buttigieg that could go and grab Biden donors if we start to see this field sort of split between a Sanders lane and if Buttigieg is suddenly the moderate.
And we're missing 38% of these numbers as of right now. Cynthia McFadden has some new reporting on what went wrong in Iowa last night.
So that's the mainstream, mainstream media report. And what else? New York Times. That's it. That's all we're going to get right now. Pete Buttigieg 26.9, Bernie Sanders 25.1. Oh, you know what I could do? I could show you the numbers that Bernie Sanders put out independently. That's interesting. So these are let's look. Hold on a second. These are Bernie numbers, all right? So as of this morning, what happened was Bernie Sanders' people, his caucus people, his people in the polling areas, in all of them, were doing the tally as well. And as you could see down here, Bernie Sanders, the final count, Bernie Sanders has 29.66% of the vote, and Pete Buttigieg has 24.59% of the vote. That's a 5% difference, right? And that's Bernie Sanders' people saying that they have 40% of precincts. That's their information from 40% of the precincts. So why is Bernie Sanders almost 30% of the vote, but Pete Buttigieg less than 25% of the vote in one study, and then the Iowa people put out a 62%. What's 62%? It's just shady, man. The whole thing is shady. Is Bernie Sanders going to have some balls and challenge it? I don't know. But we shall find out. We shall see, right? So there you go, man. Marcus Conte reporting. I don't know much else to say on this, but it's very sketchy, man. It's very sketchy. That's the final right there. For now, when are we going to get the other 38% of the vote? The whole thing is designed to take the air, to suck the air out of Bernie Sanders' balloon, right? Deflate his ego, deflate his win. Now we're going to go into bullshit tonight about State of the Union. We're going to have Trump wagging his finger at us, telling us how great the economy is, when half of all new wealth in the country goes to the top 1%. When 3 people in this country have more wealth than the bottom 50%, right? When 60, 70% of the country doesn't have $400 to their name, 80% of the country living paycheck to paycheck. Now, if that doesn't bother you, again, this is not your channel. If that doesn't bother you, if those statistics of income and wealth inequality don't bother you, and you see yourself as somebody who would take the payoff from a billionaire and say, it's okay, as long as I'm okay, everything's okay, then that's just fundamentally, the opposite of the way I see it. If all you see is for yourself, then I don't know what kind of American you are. I don't know what kind of, I don't know what kind of friend you make, or what kind of father or mother or brother you make. But if all you see is yourself and how it reflects you, what's in it for me, then I don't know. I mean, I'm fundamentally in the camp of what's in it for the American people. What do the American people get out of this? And if you can't see it, if all you see is, if you're unable to see the income and wealth inequality in this country, where 1% of the population controls 99% of the wealth, I don't know. I don't know, man. Well, I guess just people are wired differently. I'm not really sure. So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting. What's up, Pat Hacker? What's up, Grant Jarvis? Uncle Eddie. What's up, Vinny? What's up, William Smith? I don't know, running on the Bird Party. Marcus was running on the Bird Party. That's right, I was. You remember that? You remember those days about a year ago, 2 years ago? I had said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to run on the Bird Party. I'm going to make up my own party and run independently against Kirsten Gillibrand for Senate, right? And I found it to be mostly ridiculous, mostly nearly impossible to get through the hoops to even get a mention or, shit like that. But, hey, listen, I'm no politician. I guess, it's not for me. It's not for me at this time anyway. I like to see somebody like Joe Rogan or Jimmy Dore run for office. And certainly, you may not like Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, but he is running for Congress. And if he wins that seat, that is big, right? Cenk Uygur has money. Cenk Uygur has reach. And I salute him, if he can get in there, if he could squeak in the door and, become a congressman, Congressman Uygur. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Have you ever been hired by a poor person? That's a stupid, ignorant thing to say. That only rich people hire people. You know what it is? It's like everybody is poor because there's so few rich. Have you ever been hired by a poor person? You know what? Have you ever been hired by a poor person? Removed. People just come in to hack. It's funny, man. I love the not Pat Hacker, but people just come in to take the other side of it, to flex their Trump muscle. Is that what this is? I'm flexing my Trump muscle at you, Conte. You're stupid. You're a communist. We're here to talk about results. We're here to talk about democracy. In the least, at the least, look at the results and say, my God, the fucking half the primaries in this country are rigged. The Democratic primaries are rigged. All right? There's no reason why a full 24 hours later, only 62% of a vote is released, with no sign of when the rest of it is coming. All right? And those results greatly, the results don't reflect an independent study by the good senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders, who has results. Because they got screwed the last time, they actually wrote the stuff down, right? So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting. That's it for now, and I guess we'll just have to hold our breath and wait for the rest of the wait for the rest of the stuff to come in, right? Because that's all we got, right? Because we're just fucking slaves, man. We're just slaves to the grind, man. We can't believe anything anymore. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Eat your own humble pie, asshole. Oh. Yeah. Say it again. Okay. I heard you. I heard you that time. Come on. Woo! Oh.